Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the virtual Darlington Raceway. Clearly, I am flustered. Hope you aren't as flustered as I am tonight. Internet issues to start the night off. Then, for some reason, YouTube failed to refresh the page, and I thought I was live with the intro, and you got to see about 10 seconds of it. So, we are here. We are live. It is Thursday, and we are at Darlington, and we are racing tonight. So, welcome in. Hopefully, we get a better finish than we do a start to both the race and just in general to the broadcast here. But welcome into the PGR eSports broadcast booth high above the Lady in Black, the track Too Tough to Tame Darlington Raceway. Tonight's been interesting, and we'll have to get to the grid. I'll have to explain it more as the night goes on. But tonight is throwback night, much like NASCAR does their throwbacks tonight. We're doing it, and the theme is 1999 to 2005, I believe. And they can correct me in chat if I'm not correct on that. But I believe it's 1999 to 2005, so all the schemes you see tonight will be from the late 90s and early 2000s. And I certainly hope you enjoy. This is a really cool site that I'll get into a little bit later. But we do not have time to waste. We have a grid to get to. And boy, do we not have time to get into anything here before this race begins. On the pole, you know him, you love him. By this point in this OP Racing Throwback Series career, the winner of 3 straight tonight. He sheds the all-black colors on that 84 machine and gets behind the wheel of the Aaron's Dream Machine. It's Andrew Freenage in the 84. He'll start on pole. Alongside him, it'll be the Season 2 champ. Looks like the Icebreakers colors have awarded his number 29. That's Christian Strader. Row 2, it's the Season 1 champ sporting an Interstate Battery style look, a Bobby Labonte style look, and that is Tyler Bentley in the 55. Starting 4th, it's going to be Nathan Nixon in the 92, and I can't from here tell what's on that car, but we'll get a better look at it here as the night goes on. Row 3, it'll be Tim Henderson in the 52 machine and Casey Pfeiffer in the 87. Again, both running throwbacks. Looks like Casey going with Dale Earnhardt. Again, can't really tell what Tim Henderson's got, but we'll get to it later in the race. Row 4, welcome to the series as my overlay is broken too, please. There we go. Row number 4, welcome to the series, Derek Myers as he makes his debut tonight from 7th starting spot in the 69, and Jerry West will roll from position number 8. The Army colors aboard West, the Miller Lite Dodge aboard the 69. Row 5, Dustin German in the 50, Hunter Carlson in the 32. Row 6, Garrett Streets, the 33. Chris Spencer making his debut in the 35. They'll start 12th. Row 7, Chad Meadows and Adam Pettit. One of our sponsors, Adam Pettit, with Anything AC. Row 8, Lee Robinson, the 06, and Richard Maligani in the 22. Row 9, it'll be Brian Elmore and TJ Spatenauer in the 13. And row 10, the faster Pastor, Stoney Benfield and Ryan Peters in the 18. Row number 11, it'll be Travis Butt in the 24 and Josh Terrod Hill in the 74. On row number 12, it'll be Brad Young in the 89 and Greg Bourbon here in the 00. On row number 13, it'll be Alex Green, the series owner, in the number 3, and Sean Kozier in the number 97. Gerald Berlin returns this week. He'll start from 27th. It'll be Brent Elmore in 28th. Row 15, Ron Walters, the 99, Rusty Modesty in the 5. Row 16, Shane Posey in the 83, Cody Morgan in the 36. Row 17, it'll be Stephen Luttrell in the 82, and Doug Johnson in the 388. And Cody Eldridge, shotgun on the field, in 35th. Well, a little bit of a botched start to the broadcast, but we're ready to go nonetheless. It's the Lady in Black, and it's throwback night in America. Green flag is going to go in the air, and we are underway from Darlington. Freenage leads lap 1 over Strader, Nixon, Pfeiffer, and Bentley. So far, your top 5. And as the night goes, as the battles allow us to, we'll get a look at some of these throwback-style paint schemes that we see on the racetrack tonight. Again, the Aaron's Dream Machine for Andrew Freenage. The Goodwrench Icebreakers, of course, another Goodwrench variant for Christian Strader. I've seen more Goodwrench cars than I've ever seen in my life because of Christian Strader. So Christian going back to it again. There's Nathan Nixon, and let's get a better look at what's on his car. Is that the Flintstones for Cartoon Network? It looks like it is. That Flintstones car aboard Nathan Nixon's machine. So a nice, interesting look there. It looks like that's what it is. It may not be. It actually may be. It's Cartoon Network in general. The Flintstones on the hood, it's just Cartoon Network. I saw Courage the Cowardly Dog on that car as well. So cool look there. But we're going to have to hold off for a second because we've got a battle for the lead brewing on lap number 4. It's Freenage over Strader as the field works its way back onto this progressive banking here in turn 1. Very narrow racetrack in general. Now this end, caution flag right as I say that. And you got to go back a ways. Looks like might be Gerald Berlin. And let's hope we can see him here. Oh yeah, we can. It's actually in front of him. Let's get an idea of where this one starts. It looked like it might have been... No, I thought it was Stephen Luttrell. Was it Tim Henderson by chance? Nope. That was even further up than that. Or was it... Oh, boy. It's the 83 of Shane Posey. And he's the first one that gets around. Let's take a look and see what happened to Posey over on this narrow end of the racetrack. He's racing Josh Tarrant Hill. This was not far outside the top 10, top 15. And is it something in the racing, or is the track going to bite him here? Posey running about that middle groove, not far off that dash line. And Tarrant Hill, does he slide? Does maybe get some contact here? And yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case. Tarrant Hill starts to come down. Posey is there, and it kind of tail whips him to his left. And from there, not much anybody behind them can do. These cars don't stop Brad Young into him big right there. And Berlin is going to get mostly the wall, but I think he's also going to get a piece of Posey here as well. And right there, he does just that. Rusty Modesty diving out of the way. Just barely missed that one, but Sean Cozier not as lucky in that 97 as he gets a piece of this one as well. Go back, try to take another look at this one, kind of show you where that contact started between Tarrant Hill and Shane Posey. Is these guys, that's not a really, that's certainly not the camera angle I thought it was. Try to see if the drone cam's got anything for us. Sometimes good, sometimes bad are these drone angles. And yeah, we're actually going to get a pretty good look at it here. You see Tarrant Hill up on the wall, kind of gets loose, maybe tries to turn off of it a little bit and gets going down the racetrack. And there you see the tap to Shane Posey, and Posey's going to go around, and Brad Young and Gerald Berlin, there's really not much you can do as a driver here. It's happening so fast, and I'll show you here in a second, but in real time, this happens way faster than it does on our fancy slow motion replay, to where these guys don't have the reaction time that we're showing you they do on a replay. Obviously, it looks like, oh, well, they had so long, why didn't they just move out of the way? Well, they don't really have the time to, and we'll go up top here, and I'll kind of show you, kind of put on display just how quickly, especially at a track like this, that things happen. Watch how quickly this unfolds from the contact here with Posey and Tarrant Hill to the contact with Brad Young. Watch this. I mean, it is so fast inside the cockpit. You commit to a line, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately there, it does not work for those two cars. So under caution for the first time, coming back lap 8, 140 laps to go in our 147 lap scheduled distance. Some more of these throwback cars. You see Tyler Bentley back there, the 55. Again, the Interstate batteries. Kind of the Christmas look it looks like for him, to me, perhaps. Got some Coca-Cola representation on there. The Army car, the 01 for Jerry West. In the style of Mark Martin, back from the mid-2000s. And others before him as well. I see the Dale Jr., the baseball paint scheme back there a little further. I see Bass Pro Shops represented here, like that maroon car that Martin Truex used to drive. So some interesting paint schemes. And again, as the night goes on, we'll try to spotlight some of these, because I know these guys either, had somebody paint them for them or worked hard and went and found a paint scheme. Green flag back in the year, 140 laps to go in the 147 lap scheduled distance. And Andrew Freenage, boy, has he been on fire in this series. And he leads again off this restart over Strader, Nixon, Pfeiffer, Bentley, and the rest of the field. This time off to a bit bigger lead. We saw Strader kind of running down on the last run, but was never able to get past him. Actually, the battle had just started to form up as that caution flag came out. So we'll wait. Let's see if Strader can run him back down, or how much of that is Freenage saving his resources, like he talked about last week after his win in Kansas. Heading back towards turn number 3. Again, Freenage, the Aaron Stray machine, leads. It's Strader in second. And we'll start to look for some battles as kind of things start to pack up a little bit here. Nixon not letting these front two get away. Nathan Nixon looking sporty so far in that in that 92 machine. As lap 10 up on the board, and Nixon, the 92, the Cartoon Network Monte Carlo, he starts to make some ground. Casey Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer had a pretty good run last week as well, if I recall correctly. Got the good wrench colors on tonight. And he runs 4th right in front of Tyler Bentley. Really nice run for Pfeiffer. Really good qualifying effort, and so far has settled in, not lost a ton of spots. He's kind of putting a cushion here. Well, as Bentley almost got some challenge there from Jerry West. That's for 5th. We'll go back there to this battle now. Actually, it's a 3, 4, maybe 5-way battle for 4th. And oh, Pfeiffer, man, right as I said something, that's a big-time moment there for the 87. And he's going to have some company on his doorstep. Here comes Tyler Bentley. That'll be for 4th. The Interstate Batteries, well, what looked to be the Interstate Batteries car, it's actually, I think he did go and put the Buckeye Racing Network colors aboard that car, much in the style that you'll see NASCAR guys do it, where they'll put their own sponsors on a throwback design with a throwback font. Again, so many good examples of it. The best, in my opinion, my favorites that I think I've seen are the Trackhouse, when they did the old 3 and 1 cars from back in the day for DEI, when they did the Coca-Cola, the Polar Bear cars, the red, white, and black, and then the black, white, and red variants. Those are the best cars I think that I've seen throwback-wise, and Tyler Bentley's kind of gone a similar way. Just put his own sponsors. Actually bought a Pontiac Grand Prix. So fun stuff there. He gets by Pfeiffer for 4th. It's now Pfeiffer in 5th as West and German battle for 6th. Let's go back here to this battle for a moment. It's Dustin German. He's got a good start to his career brewing as well. A podium earlier in the season at Rockingham Speedway, I believe, or he's podium this year. Forgive me, I just can't recall, but he has podium this year. And has a pretty good start to his career. We'll get an idea of where he is in points, and actually just the points in general following Kansas. And yeah, Dustin German, 5th in points, only about 70 points back of the lead, and only 5 races in. It's a very attainable goal here for Dustin German, as he is 5th in the standings. Andrew Freenage vaulted himself to 3rd in the standings after 3 straight wins. He missed the first race and has vaulted himself all the way to 3rd in the points. Only 58 points behind our leader right now, Christian Schrader. Connor Carlson is 2nd in points. He runs 8th on the speedway right now. West German catching Pfeiffer here. This is going to be a 3-way battle for 5th, maybe 4 here in a moment, as that is Hunter Carlson. And then Dale Jr., Budweiser, the baseball, might be the All-Star Game car. I can't really tell. I'm trying to figure it out from here, but he actually may have gone the same route as Tyler Bentley and put his sponsors, but that is one of those old baseball cars like the ones Dale Jr. used to run on the Daytona 500. That's what Hunter Carlson's rocking tonight. As West is to the inside of Pfeiffer, this is for 5th. Jerry West, the Army Monte Carlo to the inside. German going to try to follow him through on that bottom line. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and Pfeiffer's able to hold his ground. Ooh, for a moment, but a big moment again. As Pfeiffer gets loose, and now company to his doorstep. Out of the flat goes West to the inside, but now he gets loose, trying to come up off the flat. German going to go with him. West to 5th. German going to try to get 6th as they approach this very narrow turn 3 and 4. A lot wider exit off turns 1 and 2. Now Pfeiffer's in the wall. He's going to lose a number of spots here. He's going to drop all the way outside the top 10 as he gets passed by a number of cars. Now the battle will be for 5th as West takes it, but now German, Carlson, Adam Pettit, who is 4th in the standings. He's up to 8th on the racetrack, plus 6 from where he started. Richard Maligani is up 7 from where he started. I was looking to see where he was in the point standings. He is down in the 30th position, a ways back, but could really use a nice run tonight. So far so good for him, and that, I believe he's got the NOS colors aboard his car tonight. As we continue on with this battle for 5th, we'll come back to it because Tyler Bentley has caught Nathan Nixon for 3rd. Reminder, Tyler Bentley, our winner from Darlington in Season 1, he and Isaiah Dupree shared one of the best battles this series has seen late in that race. They were beating and banging, and much in the style of Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven back in 2003. Those guys were going at it, muscling each other around this 1.3-mile oval, and it was a lot of fun. One of the best finishes this series has seen, and Bentley comes out on top in that one, and it was part of one of his long win streaks in this series. And right now, up to third, and Bentley trying to run down the leaders and make something happen here in his second start at Darlington. Back to this battle for fifth. This has been the place to be so far, as German has really made hay here on Jerry West. He's making his life interesting here as he tries to get that spot. Now West starts to drive away, and it's Carlson now on offense here against Dustin German for sixth. Headed up to eighth. Again, one of the more notable runs. Chris Spencer is +2 from where he started, by the way. He's running just outside the top 10 in his debut in this series. Derek Myers in his debut, -3 so far, but hanging around inside the top 10 in position number 10. Rusty Modesty, one of the biggest movers of the night. The Got Milk Chevrolet is +18 to 12th. And he is on the charge. Started 30th. He's up to position number 12. Tim Henderson runs right behind him in 13th. Let's go through some more of these throwback paint schemes, give him a little better look. Adam Pettit, the Winn-Dixie, Mark Martin colors aboard that Ford Taurus, and that's a really cool look for him. That's nicely done. Winn-Dixie aboard that Ford. You get Miller Lite for Derek Myers, Miller Lite Dodge, Noss aboard Richard Malagani's car. Looks like in a bit of a Hendrick styling. And at 22. And then right behind him is Chris Spencer, the UPS Ford Taurus in the style of Dale Jarrett. Some really good paint schemes tonight for this throwback night. This is a fun thing that these guys had planned, and so far so good, man. There's some good-looking cars on this racetrack tonight. Really quickly, we'll go back up here because Jerry West has been caught again, and this time Dustin German's going to get the job done. He makes the pass and moves into the 5th position. German 5th in points again. Wants to jump a few more spots, wants to put him in a position where he can stay in this championship battle, especially as Andrew Freenach continues to win races. So Dustin German, even Jerry West, 23rd in the standings. He wants to gain some points as well. Good run for him so far in 6th, but under fire by the man who is 2nd in points, chasing his teammate Christian Strader. He's 41 points back entering tonight. He needs to make up some ground if he's going to hang with his teammate, at least as of right now, 24 laps in here at Darlington. 123 to go next time by for Andrew Freenach. A long way in this one, but I actually clicked the wrong button. We'll go back into this battle. We'll go back through some of these paint schemes again. We got all the way back here to Tim Henderson and Marvin the Martian aboard that car. I think he's going to have to, whoa, big slide though. Can he catch it? Man, that's a big slide to the left and the right. He's able to catch it. I want to say it's back to one of those, either a Bobby Hamilton or a Mike Skinner kind of deal, I think, but I could be completely wrong. So Tim Henderson, if you're in chat or after the race, please tell me what this paint scheme is. I know it's Marvin the Martian, so it's obviously based on one of those, but I think it's supposed to be like Mike Skinner and Bobby Hamilton that used to drive the 31 or the 55 rather, excuse me. Which I think was the Circle D car. I think that's what he's going for here. A nice look there, and to be fair, Travis Butt runs this paint scheme every week, but as he tries to go by Henderson for 13th, but very very convenient. Oh man, almost gets into Lee Robinson there going into 3. But the DuPont Flames, no changes here for Butt as he gets the wall, and Robinson's going to go on by Robinson in the Velveeta Craft Oscar Mayer Ford Taurus. And for a second when I was in practice, before the race started, I thought for a split second that this was Matt Hayden. Matt Hayden not in the field tonight, but I'm used to seeing the 6 aboard Matt Hayden's cars. Henderson gets the wall. He'll drop to 15th. But I thought for a second that was Matt Hayden when I was watching practice before I had all my tickers and stuff up, and it is not. It is Lee Robinson in the 6 on the car, but the 06 on your timing and scoring. Call 811 aboard Stoney Benfield's car. Still the Ford Fusion look aboard his bright, vibrant yellow and black car. The faster passer just outside the top 15, but +3. from where he started. Had a good run here in Season 1 at Darlington and in Season 2, if I recall correctly, at Darlington as well. So Stoney Benfield going to try to continue his charge forward. Garrett Streets runs that Martin Truex Jr. style paint scheme, that maroon look that you saw Truex run at Phoenix in his final full-time Cup Series race and that he started his career with several years ago at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. So this is a cool look. And SM Racing Products, actually another creative take on this, much like the Cup Series teams do, as Garrett Streets goes that route as well for SM Racing, who you'll see on the broadcast here in just a little bit. Cody Eldred goes the McDonald's route, and late 90s, early 2000s, my guess would be Andy Houston. And Cody can correct me if I'm wrong on that as well, but looks to be an Andy Houston style look aboard his machine. TJ Spainhour, again, is going to have to remind me. I've seen this car before. I swear I have, and I think... I'm trying to remember. I want to say Robbie Gordon ran a car similar to this in the early 2000s for, I think, his own team. I want to say it was Robbie Gordon Motorsports that had this vibrant, unsponsored, well, obviously sponsored tonight by 86 Studio, which is TJ Spainhour, Hunter Carlson, both run that logo on their cars. But I want to say, and Brad Young as well, right behind these guys, but I want to say that Robbie Gordon ran a car just like this. Again, if in chat, if you're watching TJ or anybody that happens to know about this car, I'm almost positive that's what it's supposed to be, but I want to make sure. Casey Pfeiffer, good wrench. Pretty self-explanatory there, the man in black. Brian Elmore, his normal Northwest paint scheme. Chad Meadows goes Napa. This is a Hendrick-style look from several years ago. Ryan Peters, Pepsi, kind of a Jeff Gordon look. I think that is actually, Star Wars The Phantom Menace. This is probably a Jeff Gordon paint scheme back in the day. So Pepsi aboard his car. Greg Bourbonier, Miller Lite aboard his Chevy Impala. Stephen Luttrell actually goes with Office Depot, a little throwback to Cousin Carl in this race, but very early Cousin Carl. Again, not the Ford Fusion Cousin Carl, but earlier than that. It's good to see Carl Edwards represented. Brent Elmore, his typical colors as well. Ron Walters, Parts America, Die Hard aboard that machine. That's a very nice car. It's a very sleek look, and he's had it here for a while. Sean Kozier, his typical colors, is Andrew Freenosh, who actually puts him a lap down. One of the first cars to go a lap down. Josh Terrett Hill, Cheerios, Pop Secret, in the style of, again, possibly Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Richard Petty, Petty Enterprises. Oh, man, as he pounds the wall. Terrett Hill, not the start to the night that he wanted. And then we kind of get to where I can't really see guys anymore. Brad Young, Studio 86 aboard his car. Alex Green, his typical colors as well, the Goodwrench car. And then Cody Morgan, Shane Posey, Doug Johnson, and Greg Berlin have taken it to the garage and called it a night. That was a full field Throwback Series style rundown, as really for the first time this season, the field is in lap traffic. The leaders are having to deal with some lap traffic. Kozier, Terrett Hill, both now a lap down. Next up is Brent Elmore. As Freenosh, and as he's working lap traffic, maybe some unfamiliarity. Maybe, not sure what it is, not getting the reps or what it is, but he's struggling. And Strader, a bit more experienced in this series in lap traffic, has run him down and now put some pressure back on the leader. They have driven away as pit stops begin out back. These two have driven away. So far, the class of the field. Jerry West, I thought was coming to pit road. Looks like he does not. But Strader is there. With 112 laps to go. Strader is there. So we got a battle for the lead. As these two go at it. Freenosh keeping him at arm's length. Strader's never really been that close, but putting maybe a little bit of heat on the back bumper. As these guys work their way back into turn one. Again, 110 to go next time by. Freenosh, Strader, your top two. Not a ton of change out back. Derek Myers is starting to make his way forward. +3 now on the night and up to fourth. for the debuting driver. At least I believe he's debuting, and he can correct me certainly if I'm incorrect on that, but I believe he's debuting tonight, if not one of his first starts. And so far, P4 for the Miller Lite Dodge. Dustin German is 5th. Hunter Carlson is up to 6th, so a better run now as Carlson tries to pace both his teammate and Andrew Freenage, who bears down on him from 3rd in points. He's doing a good job of it so far. Rusty Modesty's the man on the climb, though, plus 23 for the Got Milk Chevrolet. Rusty Modesty, the man on the move. The Kellogg's Got Milk Chevrolet is up from 30th to 7th right now. One of the best climbs of the year for any driver is Modesty right now. Pettit hanging out in 8th plus 6 from where he started. Chris Spencer well inside the top 10 in 9th, and Lee Robinson enters the top 10 for the first time tonight. He's on the charge. Coming into tonight, Lee Robinson ran 9th in the points standings. About 140 points back of our points leader, Christian Schrader, but certainly some ground to be gained. Some boosts to be had here for Lee Robinson. As he aims to keep his good start to the season going after his good runs early in the year. Daytona didn't really end the way he wanted it to, but ran well at Vegas and several other places. As now pit stops begin. Rusty Modesty, Christian Schrader on pit road for the first time tonight. Drivers coming to the pit lane. Let's see now. Does Freenage answer Schrader, or does he run his own strategy? Let's see what the leader decides to do. When he works his way off turn number 4, he will answer the call. 1 lap after Schrader pits, Freenage brings that machine to pit road, and now 1 lap of difference on tires. What's that going to do? The fall off in this race was almost 2 full seconds, so perhaps Schrader close enough behind to maybe make a difference here, pitting 1 lap earlier than the current race leader. It's Tyler Bentley, Hunter Carlson, Adam Pettit, Jerry West, Chad Meadows, and others that will join Andrew Freenage on pit road. Ryan Peters, you saw just ahead of the leader, he will come down pit road as well, and that leaves the lead to the Miller Lite Dodge of Derek Myers, who gets his first time out front in this series. As Myers, will he bring it to pit road? Nope, going to come out, going to come around, lead a lap. Dustin German going to come to pit road this time and seed 2nd. Lee Robinson will stay out. What does Travis Butt do? He stays out as well. Chris Spencer's going to come to pit lane, maybe? Yep. He will come to pit lane. Stoney Benfield will come to pit lane. As we approach 100 laps to go, Myers going to stay out, get a bonus point here for leading a lap, and try to run this set of tires a couple laps longer than most of the leaders. They're going to stay out again. Derek Myers going to continue to lead. Did get some confirmation in the chat. Thank you, Terry Spainhour, that the... Oh boy, big moment for the leader right there. Oh, big moment behind them for the provisional lead. And that's a pass for the provisional lead. Does Freenage cross back over? He does. Holy cow, Schrader passed him in lap traffic here on a pit stop. And this is what lap traffic and pit strategy can do. Freenage goes right back by him. Schrader to the bottom of the banking, both cars sliding around. Darrell Waltrip said, or Larry McReynolds, excuse me, said they're driving terrible. Darrell Waltrip said, no, they're driving good. That's what it feels like right now with these two, but this is what I mean. Lap traffic can play such a role in a narrow racetrack like Darlington that it's allowing Christian Schrader to pull even and even go around Andrew Freenage and put serious heat. This is heat like we haven't seen on Freenage. I'm not sure we've seen a green flag pass on Freenage for the lead in this series. And it happens for the first time tonight, but not for very long, at least for the provisional lead, I should say. Derek Myers, who now, these two unlap themselves, is the leader on the racetrack, but those two are going to cycle back out once this cycle comes to an end. So we'll keep an eye on that battle. We'll keep an eye on Myers as well, but I want to keep up this racing right here because this has been awesome stuff. Look at Greg Bourbonier. He's going to play nice. Some of them will, some of them won't. Bourbonier plays nice, coming to pit road anyway, and we'll cede that spot to those two, and Freenage kind of takes a breath and starts to pull away again. But did get some confirmation. Terry Spainhour saying that is a Robbie Gordon look. I was right. I love that car. Very eccentric, very interesting, an unsponsored car with that kind of paint job. For Robbie Gordon, it was such a cool thing that I could remember that. So thank you for the confirmation. And the confirmation coming from TJ's dad, Terry, in the chat. So, yeah, what a cool paint job. That's definitely up there on my list just because it's such an interesting scheme, and it's not one that I kind of expected coming into tonight. Like, I was like, all right, you're going to have your, and this is no offense to any of the drivers in this field, but you're going to have, like, your UPS looks and your Miller Lite looks and your Interstate Batteries looks and your Coca-Cola. Like, you're going to have those popular ones, which makes sense. A lot of teams do that in NASCAR on a daily basis. But as Derek Myers, Cody Eldred going to cede their spots come to pit road. But what I was not expecting was, like, you know, the Robbie Gordon paint schemes or the Winn-Dixie Mark Martin paint schemes from the Busch Series or, you know, things like that. I love obscure NASCAR paint jobs. It's just so cool to me, especially if they're ones like either I grew up watching or just that I remember from seeing them. And just to see guys be like, yeah, I want to throw back to Robbie Gordon in 2001. Like, I just think that's so cool. And TJ Spainhour certainly high on the list right now of best paint jobs on track. Freenage and Schrader still going at it for the lead while I'm yapping over here on the microphone. They are having a very intense battle for the lead. Yes, Schrader keeps the pressure on. Look, he's got the heat on the back bumper of the 84 right now. And again, kind of like Rockingham, kind of like last week at Kansas, when I talked to Christian and when I talked to Andrew, they both kind of agreed that as time went on and as, you know, Andrew not necessarily came back to earth, but as the other guys around him picked stuff up from him. If they ran behind him, oh, okay, I see where he's fast right there. Let me try that. Or, oh, okay, you know, he's kind of vulnerable right there. Let me see what I can get. Let me see where I can move around and go. Eventually, both of them agreed that the field was going to catch up to him. That eventually they were going to make strides, that they were going to pick up the pace, and they were going to eventually put pressure on him or even start beating him. And tonight, Schrader, this is one of his best efforts. Now, Rockingham, I think he was faster in the long run than Freenage was. I think last week there were a few cars that maybe could have been faster. Rockingham a couple, I think, as well, that if we had gone into this kind of run where you just had lap after lap after lap and lap traffic and those kinds of deals, I think for sure that somebody may have gotten him, may have punched their ticket in the win column and beaten the 84 car, as certainly he's burst on the scene, become kind of the standard here in the OP Racing Throwback Series. But to this point, it has not happened. So Freenage, though, tonight kind of seems a little bit more mortal, shall we say. So see how it turns out. Obviously, as the race goes, things are going to change. The track is going to change. And so we'll see how that obviously affects Freenage. Oh, man, big moment in front of him. Josh Terrett Hill, as I was briefly looking away at the points. Josh Terrett Hill is a big moment in front of our leader, but by far the longest run we've had, I think, or close to it. Daytona may have had a long run. Las Vegas may have had this long a run early in the race. Rockingham, I'm not sure, and last week at Kansas, I'm not sure either. So far now, inside of 100 to go. Going to be 95 to go. When we come back around, maybe only a couple more pit stops, maybe 2 to 3 left in this race. And already, I mean, just the lap traffic going to become the story of this one, I think. Lap traffic and pit stops. As Casey Pfeiffer goes a lap down, that leaves only 13 cars on the lead lap back to Travis Butt in position number 13. As these guys start to spread out up front, we'll give you a little bit of a full-field rundown. Andrew Freenage leads here on lap 53. Christian Schrader is second. Tyler Bentley has made his way back to third. It's Nathan Nixon still continuing a strong run in fourth. Rusty Modesty, that climb continues, plus 25. He's up to fifth position. Hunter Carlson runs back in sixth, with Dustin German on his bumper in seventh. Adam Pettit runs eighth. Jerry West runs back in ninth, with Derek Myers running just on the last spot in the top 10. Richard Mulligani runs in position number 11, with Chris Spencer back in 12th. Lee Robinson is 13th. Tim Henderson is 14th, and Travis Butt is 15th. Garrett Streets right behind him in 16th. Casey Pfeiffer runs in 17th. We saw him getting past. He's getting passed now by Brent Elmore. Cody Eldred runs back in 18th, with Ryan Peters in 19th, and the faster pastor Stoney Benfield in 20th. Chad Meadows is 21st. Brian Elmore is 22nd, right behind a Hornet's Nest right in front of him. We'll get to that in a second. Stephen Luttrell runs 23rd. Josh Terrett-Hill runs 24th. Ron Walters runs 25th. Brett Elmore runs 26th, with Greg Bourbonier 27th and Sean Kozier in 28th. Brad Young runs 29th. TJ Spainhour runs in 30th. It's actually on pit road now for an extended stop. Alex Green runs 31st. And again, Cody Morgan, Shane Posey, Doug Johnson, and Gerald Berlin have retired from tonight's race. 32nd through 35th, respectively. Back to this Hornet's Nest. Rusty Modesty, Hunter Carlson, Dustin German, all under a bit of a blanket here. Modesty's now to 4th as Nixon drops from 4th to 7th. A couple laps ago, he'll actually drop to 8th now. So a free fall here a bit for Nathan Nixon, kind of losing some long run speed. As Modesty tries to hold off Carlson and German that are all over his back bumper. As his climb to the front of the field continues here. Plus 26. Biggest mover in the field. Cody Elter, those plus 21 back in 14. There's a couple guys on the climb now, plus 27. That was weird. Okay, the scoring's just messed up. He's not plus 27. And they're all over the racetrack, and the scoring is not going to like that. We're going to go to the ticker because the scoring is not going to like that, so we'll go to the ticker for a moment. Trevor Osbernoth in chat. Shout out from the Shack. Holding down the Ford over in the Shack. Speaking of the Shack, standing for Jack Shack Racing, of course. See them and many of our other big money racing teams here in just a little bit. About an hour from now, a little bit less than an hour from now, to be live action from Daytona International Speedway. Another preview of the upcoming PGR 500. And let me tell you a little bit about this while we're in a bit of a long green flag run here. Let's tell you a little bit about this event that we got coming up for PGR eSports. January 27th through February the 2nd, which is not about a couple weeks before NASCAR's Daytona 500 weekend and Speed Weeks, which is now Speed Week, I guess, if you're really going to say that. But it's the same weekend as the NASCAR Clash at Bowman Gray. We're going to have the PGR 500. If you watched PGR eSports back in July, we had the SummerSlam 499, which featured qualifying. Oh, trouble. So I was talking about the PGR 500, of course. Trouble strikes, and it was right in front of the leader. And it's Sean Kozier. Sean Kozier with some trouble here. He's running in front of Travis Belt. We'll get back to the PGR 500 under caution here in just a moment. Kozier running right in front of Travis Butt. Travis going to come up along behind him. Is there contact here? Does Kozier get a Darlington stripe? Let's see. Looks like there's going to be some contact, and there is right there. Butt driving down the hill, trying to get around the 97, and inadvertently gets in the back of him, spins him sideways, and the Anything EC Sparkle and Shine Ford is going to tap the inside wall. Not much contact on the front or the rear. Did a good job locking it down and getting to a stop. This one's pretty self-explanatory here. We'll take one or two more looks at it. Oh, there's the contact. Around he goes and just taps the inside wall. No harm, no foul in these tanks. This will give you a better look at the contact, and then we'll go back live. It's getting pretty self-explanatory here under our second caution of the night. Just outside or inside of lap 60. So on pit road, the field comes for a cycle of yellow flag pit stops, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the PGR 500 here under the second caution of the night. So if you've ever watched our SummerSlam 499, or more importantly, the Podium 500 that usually happens in February, it's kind of what we're going for in terms of general format. There's obviously some changes, our own spins on it. As the SummerSlam 499 featured almost 200 drivers trying for 42 spots to make what at that time was the biggest event in PGR eSports history. This one is going to far surpass. We expect 200, 250, 270, the number of drivers, some high profile names current and former Coca-Cola iRacing Series drivers like Garrett Maines, Malik Ray, Michael Guest, the Podium 500 defending champion Kyler Wynn will be racing. Well, we imagine he will be racing in that event. Could be some surprises in terms of what Coca-Cola iRacing Series drivers show up as well, and what maybe NASCAR personalities decide to come out and race. A very high-profile field planned, a very high-profile entry list, should I say, planned to try to make their way into a 500-mile, 200-lap main event. We'll have heats, we'll have qualifying, we'll have heat races, 8 of them to be exact. We'll advance about a little under half the field through that into the LCQ races. We'll narrow the field even more for our two dual races, which will set the 42-car field, the 43-car field, should I say, for the PGR 500 on Sunday, February the 2nd. Some big-time potential, I say potential broadcasting names in line for that one as well. Myself, Austin Green, may be around. We'll see if we decide to race, and then again, whether or not we make the field. But Matt Mettler will have you as part of that as well. We have some big-time names potentially coming on board. We're working through some things behind the scenes, so I don't want to give too many details. But it's going to be a must-watch, can't-miss type of event. The biggest names, the brightest stars, the brightest lights. The biggest sim racing event of the year, the Great American Sim Race, the PGR 500, coming up on February 2nd. It's that whole week, January 27th through February 2nd. We'll start heat racing on Tuesday. We're going to race Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then we will take Friday as an off day, kind of. And then Saturday we'll race pretty much all day, the LCQs and the dual races. And then Sunday, 500 miles on Clash weekend to crown the King of Daytona and the King of PGR eSports for another year in 2025. We're kicking it off in the best way that we know how. Hope you will join us for that one. Also, January 2nd, 2025, going to be the PGR Championship, where we crown the King of Money Racing for 2024. A number of high-profile names, including Malik Ray, Michael Guest, and Garrett Maines going to be coming out for that one as well. Kyler Wynn, as well as Money Racing's biggest and brightest stars. You won't want to miss it. Also live on PGR eSports. That's January 2nd of 2025. Freenot, Strader, German, Bentley, Pettit, your top 5 with Carlson, West, Myers, Robinson, and Malugani rounding out the remainder of the top 10 as we get ready to go back under green flag racing. And here we go from Darlington, lap 65. Going to go on the board. Green flag back in the air, and Freenot gets a really nice start. As he jumps into a half a second lead, and the field starts to try to work itself out. We were just getting close to a pit cycle there under green, and we did not make it. Now can the field single back out and kind of get back into that same rhythm? We'll have to wait and see. Freenot after an early 7/10 lead. Strader, Bentley, Pettit, everybody kind of singling out right now. Not really a lot of battles. First one you got to go back here and look for is Derek Myers trying to hold off Richard Malugani for 8th position. Kind of cuts across his nose. Malugani goes bottom to top to try to pass. Now back top to bottom. No dice. Good run for Derek Myers so far. Adam Pettit plus 10 as well, as he's up to 4th. Man 4th in the standings, looking to gain some spots here tonight as well. Another good run for him. Battle maybe up in front of these guys again. Adam Pettit got a bit of a train behind him here, a bit of a hornet's nest. "67 laps up and down, 80 laps to go when Andrew Freenot comes back around to the start-finish line. Jerry West, Hunter Carlson, Lee Robinson in tow here. 4th place Adam Pettit. West has to kind of jab the brake. And he will now try to go on offense here off turn number 4. Pettit has it. West wants it. In the wall behind him is Derek Myers. No harm, no foul there. West got as far as the door number but couldn't get any further. This is good racing back here for 4th on back. Doing really up front right now. Strader has closed the gap certainly here on Freenot down to about 4.5 tenths. Will he be able to maintain, and will more importantly be able to get up there and pass the race leader, that's going to be a much different story. West continues to look for fourth here, putting some serious heat on the 60 of Adam Pettit. This is some good stuff, and now Pettit starts to drive away just a tad. Again, about 4.5 tenths separating our leader from second. Tyler Bentley not out of this yet either. He's starting to gain some ground in the short run here. Carlson now trying to go on offense on West for fifth. Robinson Myers in tow. Derek Myers to the inside of Lee Robinson. This will be for seventh, if he can get there. Not quite. Caution right up ahead of the leaders. Oh, actually, no. Oh, man, these guys were diving out of the way. Look back through the field here, but looks like it may be Josh Terrett Hill, but I'm not sure. Oh, we can actually see him. Let's see what happened here. And is this the caution back here off turn number 4? Yeah, probably is. Travis Butt gets the wall, and whoa! Much as they did in the short tracks of the early 2000s in NASCAR. And we'll go on to cockpit before I fully say this, before I fully claim this, obviously in front of viewers, but boys, we may have just had some tempers flare here off turn number 4. Let's get another look at it. Terrett Hill gets loose. He's been having some struggle here off turn number 4 all night. And he gets into Travis Butt, and now Travis Butt here. Oh, man. Contact a couple more times for those two cars there. Travis Butt perhaps showing his frustration with this 74. Let's take a couple more looks at it here. We'll go on board with Travis Butt as well, and just I want to give him his due diligence. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, I don't want to indict an innocent man. Oh, man. Big contact there for the 74 and the 24. And then, well, he may have been out of control. Let's go back and take a look here on board with Travis Butt, but he may have been very well out of control. Let's take a look on board the 24. Get there here. Oh, he's actually back to the right here in this angle, and he's already come off the wall, so I may have said the wrong thing. Let's just make sure. On board with Travis Butt. Yeah. I mean, certainly it looks incriminating there, but you can hear the wheels spin as well. The RPMs go through the roof, so I don't want to assume. As Derek Myers is going to stay on the speedway here. A lot of guys going to get their lap back, but Myers is going to inherit the lead. Either inherited the lead or came to pit road and got the lead here off pit road, so a new leader as we approach halfway. A lot of guys going to get their laps back, though. Here under this, the third caution of the night. About 75 to go. Can be about 73 to go when we go back green. Big Roost in the chat. It's Chris Walker. Chris, good to see you, brother. Always give me a hard time. All in good fun. And Terry, yes, this is fixed setup. It's not open setup. At least it hasn't been in the past to my knowledge. So these guys are all in the same setup and all working with the same resources, if you will, inside the car. And that's kind of what provides some of the good racing that you see. Obviously, it's not kind of down on open setup, but regardless, let's give it another shot, shall we? Lap 74 going to go on the board. 74 on the board. 74 to go. Halfway. In the lady in black. And here we go. Derek Myers for the first time leading on a restart. What kind of jump does he get? And it's a pretty good one. Derek Myers, a pretty decent lead. Not a huge one. And Freenot is certainly going to be on offense here. But he has to be a little bit more careful here than he was at Kansas. A little bit less room to work, less room to operate. Freenot drives down the hill. Myers may just give him the top side here in 3 and 4. No, going to cut the nose. I'm going to make you race me. Now Myers to the top. It's Freenot attacking here on the dash line for the bottom for the race lead. Freenach to the inside. Strader going to try to utilize this. He's going to try to use Derek Myers as a bit of a pick to overtake Freenach. Those two have been the fastest all night. As Myers runs right up against the fence, and so far, he's done a good job holding off the 84, but this drive off turn 2 is really impressive for Andrew Freenach, and he pulls right alongside and goes right on by. Andrew Freenach back to the lead. It's going to be Strader trying for a second. He's got to pass Myers ASAP. Can Myers actually keep the right rear quarter panel here of Andrew Freenach? And he can for the time being. Freenach not getting away easily. He'll get away here into turn number 1 with the lead. Freenach now going to try to pull away as Strader looks for position number 2. Car in the wall. Adam Pettit going to lose a ton of spots already all the way back to 8th. Back to 9th, back to 10th, back to 11th. He'll settle in 11th. Strader underneath. That's for 2nd on Myers, who is trying to hang around, but eventually, oh man, the handling of that race car struggling a little bit right now. And Strader, you can take your time a little here with Darlington, but now can't be as patient knowing that Freenach is right in front of him. It's Christian Strader. Tries to get by. Tyler Bentley is driven into this battle as well. Freenach seeing it all happen in his rear view mirror. Off turn 4, 70 laps to go from Darlington. Freenach trying to hang on to win number 4. A pit stop at least, maybe 2, still remain. So a lot still to happen here tonight at Darlington Raceway. Myers still making pretty good hay up against the fence. He's holding these guys up pretty good. And actually, he's going to take a look for the lead. Thought about it there. Derek Myers getting a little racy here on lap 79. He's got the leader in sight. Strader better on a long run, though, and eventually I think he'll have his way. Eventually, I think he will. Hunter Carlson's up to 5th, by the way, and he's into this battle now. Bentley going to look for 3rd on Strader as Myers drops back to the inside, still in 2nd. And Strader now under fire. Tyler Bentley, has he found something here in the middle stages at Darlington, a former winner at this racetrack. Down to turn 3, lap 80 on the board, 67 to go when they hit the start-finish line this time by. 67 to go, excuse me. Strader still trying to get 2nd from Myers, who's really been a thorn in the side of those cars 3rd and 4th. Hanging tough so far is Derek Myers. Strader getting some words of encouragement from our YouTube chat from Matt Hayden. Yes. Again, I'm pretty sure if this race gets into another long run situation where we're back in lap traffic, you saw how much at times Freenach struggled to negotiate lap traffic earlier. I think if Strader can keep him at arm's length here, well, right as I say that, caution flag back out again. This may be one of those ones we can't find. Certainly not making it obvious here. Oh boy. Well, might be Chad Meadows. Chad Meadows has some damage on the 25. Let's see. No, it's not Chad Meadows. This may be one of those ones we can't see. Travis Butt, Tim Henderson, is it right here? Nope, certainly doesn't seem that way. It's not behind him either. Well, this seems to be one of those ones we are just not going to be able to find. Back here around Ryan Peters, maybe? Nope. Not back here either. This is going to be one of those ones that iRacing, for some reason, will not load all my cars. I've tried settings, I've tried contacting their support, and nothing seems to work. And as such, unfortunately not going to be able to find a replay of that, the fourth caution of the night. So we'll pace again as guys come down pit road. 64 laps to go under this caution. And look at that again, Derek Myers. Another good pit stop for him right there. Trying to utilize the track position to his advantage. So 64 laps to go. And again, just not a lot going on right now, right this second here. As we pace under the caution, it's Freenage, Myers, Strader, Nixon back into fourth, and Bentley is fifth. Carlson, West, Mulligani, Robinson, Modesty. The rest of the top 10. Under another caution, over halfway here in Darlington. Now, definitively, I think only one pit stop to go. It's going to be awfully close, but I think only one pit stop left. As we kick off what has turned into a bit of a big weekend here, in terms of our programming, in terms of sports in general. It's a big weekend, as we have a double feature tonight, this race and then the Intimidator Super Speedway race, Super Speedway Series race from Daytona, coming up right after this on PGR eSports with Austin Green and Matt Mettler. But then tomorrow, we'll talk about this later as the restart gets going, but tomorrow begins the inaugural 12-team college football playoff, if you're into that. Again, we'll talk a little more about that once we get back into a bit of a lull or get another caution flag and have an opportunity. But that starts this weekend, and can't wait for that. Coming back with the green flag, it's Freenage back in the lead, this time over Myers. Myers slots second. Nixon, Strader behind them. Now let's try it again. Green flag. Back in the air. It's a great jump. Again as Myers spins the tires. Still spinning them here down into one. It's 3 wide for second. That was a tight moment. Myers still having some bad trouble back around the fourth position as guys work their way around him. Nixon up to third. Going to cut the nose of Bentley. Derek Myers got a good pit stop. Did not. Going to go to restart. Off turn 4. Next time by 60 laps to go. The laps winding down quickly here at the Lady in Black. As we get closer and closer to crunch time, closer and closer to the end of race number 5. Myers looking here for third on Nathan Nixon. As Myers will get that spot for the time being, at least for a second here. Bentley going to try to go by as well. And Nixon's going to get the wall. More cars going to come on by, and the free fall for Nathan Nixon back to 7th. Mulligani would be next. He's got 8th. So Nathan Nixon home, and now Jerry West gets the wall. 3 wide for a moment. That was almost a big moment there. Everybody backs out of it, and West free falls a bit. Battle for third ongoing. Derek Myers, Tyler Bentley, Hunter Carlson. Kind of trying to get it here from Derek Myers. Bentley, again, a former winner at this racetrack, so no surprise he is fast. He's put in serious heat debuting Myers, who's had a good night, don't get me wrong, but seems like now an appropriate time to mention at least, well, as Bentley goes for third, but speaking on Tyler Bentley, you see the Buckeye Racing Network. Bentley, an Ohio native. Feel like an interesting time as he drives on past. To mention portions of this college football playoff, if you pay attention to college football again, a new system, and the home games, the round one games start tomorrow night with Notre Dame and Indiana in South Bend. But Saturday night is kind of the biggest game of the week, and it features the Ohio State Buckeyes against yours truly's Tennessee Volunteers. So kind of an interesting bit of timing here to mention the Buckeye Racing Network car, as Bentley is an Ohio native. So not sure if he's a Buckeyes guy, but I'll have to ask him. Big game this week for those two teams, one I'll actually be attending here on Saturday night, so that'll be a lot of fun. Can't wait. Very excited to be up in Columbus, being a part of this inaugural 12-team playoff. I want to take a second and get close-up looks at some of these paint schemes. There's the Aaron Stream machine. Going for the Kenny Wallace look is Andrew Freenach. You see Christian Strader. Good wrench. Icebreakers. We talked about Tyler Bentley. Got to show his car for a moment there. Miller Lite Dodge. Derek Myers. So far fourth. We actually get a pretty good look at the Hunter Carlson machine as well, right behind him, the 32. As it is Studio 86, but boy, that 86, doesn't that look awfully familiar in the case of the Budweiser, the old Script B that Budweiser used to use on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car. Richard Mulligani, the NOS colors, the Hendrick number style, also has Buckeye Racing Network aboard his machine. Then Robinson, the Velveeta, Kraft, Oscar Mayer, Ford Taurus. Miracle Whip aboard that car. Maxwell House. There's a ton of sponsors on that car. Get a pair of good ones here. Kellogg's Got Milk, the number 5. The Hendrick styling on that number. And then the 01 U.S. Army Chevrolet in the style of Mark Martin and Joe Nemechek. And then Chris Spencer in the 35 UPS Ford Taurus, the style of Dale Jarrett. It's a good look there as well. Adam Pettit, again, Winn-Dixie. This is one of my favorite cars on track tonight, is this Winn-Dixie machine. I love this paint scheme as is. Coming in tonight, looks good on Adam Pettit's machine. Then Tim Henderson, Marvin the Martian. I think it's supposed to be the 55 square D. That's the font he used, it looks like to me. Good looking paint there as well. And then we got the Martin Truex car of Garrett Streets. Classic DEI look aboard that machine. There's Stoney Benfield, running 14th right now. A little paint job for him. McDonald's, Andy Houston style aboard Cody Eldred's car. The Goodwrench Chevrolet. Familiar look aboard Casey Pfeiffer's machine. And then there's the Cartoon Network machine of Nathan Nixon. Actually, looking at it again, it is just the Flintstones. No, not completely. The dog on the back is from, I believe, Dr. Dastardly. If you ever watched those cartoons as a kid, I did. DuPont Flames, Travis Butt. Classic. Pepsi, Star Wars Phantom Menace, I believe an old Jeff Gordon style car. Well, it's a Pontiac Grand Prix, so it couldn't have been Jeff Gordon. Regardless, nice paint job there. Chad Meadows, a Hendrick styled door 25. Brian Elmore, his typical look. We got to Josh Terrett Hill. Cheerios. There's Brian Elmore again. Brad Young, his typical look as well, the 89. The Studio 86 machine. Brad Elmore, his typical look in the 31. Dustin German, Smoke Show Racing, SRTV Network. A couple of other sponsors aboard that race car. Looks very much like a short track car, like a late model that you'd see on a Saturday night down at Five Flags or Caraway, or your racetrack of choice. Ron Walters, Parts America, Western Auto, Darrell Waltrip Styling, aboard the 99. And then Stephen Luttrell, Carl Edwards is the look tonight for the 82. Alex Green has a moment right in front of him. His typical colors, the red and black number 3. Greg Bourbonier, Miller Lite, as normally above, is aboard his machine. Kosher with his normal look as well. And then we talked about the Robbie Gordon paint. This could very well end up being my favorite one. It's out of the box. It's got his own spin to it. I just love the idea, so we'll see, but this may end up being my favorite one. Inside of 50 laps to go. Trouble! Josh Sherrod Hill right in front of the leader. And will this bring out a caution? No, it will not. Sherrod Hill will go the lap down, but boy, a big moment there as he spun out and nearly brought out a caution that you know good and well if you've watched the last 4 weeks of this series, 3 weeks of this series, and Andrew Freenage, that is not what he would want to see right now. He just wants this thing for once to go green and make it to the end without those late race cautions. As we approach kind of this final pit stop, what seems to be the final pit stop, Freenage has pulled away here a second and a half, 1.6 actually, is the gap between he and Christian Schrader, who runs second. And then it's Bentley back here in third, looking for some battles here. Mulligany Robinson maybe one here in a moment for sixth. And Jerry West and Rusty Modesty for eighth, maybe a battle here in a moment as well. .42 laps to go as Freenage reaches the start-finish line again. Mulligany and Robinson now going to battle here for sixth. As we close out this race, we're coming down to the closing stages here. And Darlington Raceway as these guys work their way around this 1.3-mile oval. For six, kind of cooled off just a little. Rusty Modesty got by Jerry West. That's for eighth. Just not a ton of battles on the speedway right now that are of note. We have one brewing here. Hunter Carlson is starting to catch Derek Myers. This is B for fourth, and right as I say that, he loses a ton of time and back further. There it is, the pass by Robinson on Mulligany. Mulligany going to cross over. No grip on corner exit. He will settle the run in sixth for now. It's not a ton of battling going on the racetrack. Garrett Streets is 13th. Eldred is 14th. These two may battle momentarily. So they work their way around. Eldred has caught him. Eldred will look to the bottom. Try the pass. No dice. Going to jump back in line. It's Cody Eldred inside of 40 laps to go now, and only one pit stop, I think, definitively at this point is left. We are right down to the closing stages. This one's going by pretty quickly here. Quick lap times, not a ton of laps. So now that battle cools off a little bit as well. It's not a ton really going on right now. It's kind of a lull in the race as we approach this final pit stop. And in fact, oh, well, I thought it was going to happen right there, but it's not. Cody Eldred actually, oh no! Garrett Street's trying to save it. And that got both these guys way out of shape. They are way slow now. Eldred going to drive on by with some damage. Up to 13th is Eldred, but man, both guys paid the price right there. And Garrett Street's nearly paid a really big price there on the front stretch as he almost got around and nearly brought out a crucial late race caution. Tyler Bentley, thought was going to have to defend third. It's really not as much of a gap as I thought. 2 seconds back from the leader. Freenage to Christian Strader is now 36 laps remain at the line. 1 pit stop to go. Who makes a daring call here? Who short pits? Who runs it long? Who gambles? What kind of calls are going to be made on this late cycle to kind of throw everyone off? What's going to be done? What's going to be different? We await the leader. We await any of the leaders here with 35 to go. Will somebody do something different to try to win the race? Gain track position? What's going to be the call here on this pit stop? It's 35 laps remain. We're down to the nitty-gritty. Not a ton of battles. Myers and Bentley may battle here shortly for third, but it's only because it seems like Bentley has lost some speed here in both traffic and the long run. The sun has also gone down. Maybe change the track a little bit as well. Not yet, though. Dustin German is a lap down. Brad Young is as well. Myers going to try to put Tyler Bentley under fire here for third. Bentley's really lost some pace here. Not sure what the deal is here with the 55, but he has lost some serious speed, and Myers is going to try to drive by him. Bentley trying to survive here to the pit stop and get on pit road and get some new tires, because I think that's the problem. He's trying to hang on. Bentley really backing up the center of the corner. You see that car get a little bit out of shape. As Bentley works his way down the front stretch, another look from Myers. 32 laps to go for Freenage, and the pit stops begin. Carlson, West, Pettit, Spencer, first 4 of the leaders on pit road. And the cycle begins, and now the question I have, will Christian Strader do anything different? Will he come to pit road and try to short pit the leader? Nope, going to stay out that time by Lee Robinson, I thought was on pit road. A couple of other cars going to come to pit road, and boy, this is a serious heated battle here between Tyler Bentley and Derek Myers. Neither of these two cars is driving very good at all. Man, look at these guys all over the place. Next time by for Freenage, 30 laps to go. In fact, he's already taken 31, so yeah, and there it is, 30 laps to go. Myers continues to beat down the back rear bumper of Tyler Bentley, trying to get back around him. But Bentley, a veteran in this series, very fundamentally sound, not giving this spot up easily, especially with the pit stop looming here late in this race. .29 laps to go. Freenage leads by just over 3 seconds. And this is the most entertaining battle on the speedway right now, as Tyler Bentley tries to hold off Derek Myers as the pit cycle is alive and well here. And I'm really surprised. He may do it this time. Nope. Schrader going to stay on the racetrack again. Derek Myers still putting fire on the back of the 55 of Tyler Bentley. But now a lap car kind of in the way. Keeps him from making a run on the inside. Bentley up against the wall. Myers trails him here. 27 to go next time by for Andrew Freenage as the sun continues to sink out behind turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4 rather. Myers drops a lot of time right there. And now you can see the darkness start to take effect. You see the track reflection change there as the sun sinks behind the trees. We're going to just barely get into the nighttime here. You wonder if the track surface changes at all. Battle for third. Here comes Myers. Will Brad Young hold him up? Will they go? They get together. They wreck. Around goes Derek Myers off the bumper. Tyler Bentley. Oh my goodness. Myers gets pounded in the left side door. And what was a fantastic run going for Derek Myers comes screeching to a halt. And for Andrew Freenage, he had just come down pit road. That changes everything. Or does it? Freenage on pit road. It's Derek Myers. He gets the brunt end of this one on the end of the back straightaway here at Darlington. The incident here between he and Bentley, and let's just see, was it more Bentley coming down? Was it more Myers trying to drive across the nose? Let's see here. Off turn number 4. Oh, some contact, and Bentley, does he get loose off the wall? He does. Bentley gets loose and gets back down to the 69 after the initial contact there in the middle of the corner. Bentley turns him around, and then watch this hit from on back by Brian Elmore. Oh, he had the bottom open, and Myers hooked it left at the last second. Elmore blasts him in the left side door. I mean, a huge hit for both guys. We don't talk about this much because it's a simulator. I know you can't really incur much injury, but if either of these guys is on a direct drive steering wheel, which basically simulates real-life force, not real life quite, but certainly almost accurate to real life force. Certainly hope for these guys' sake they either took their hands off the wheel or don't have their setting high enough where this could actually incur some physical damage, because this was a major, major hit for both guys. See right there, the first contact, then the second contact, and watch this. Oh! And Elmore hits him going full speed. Boy. Go up top here. Maybe not up top. Let's see if we find a... maybe the... wonder how this camera looks. Let's see how far this wreck actually gets down the backstretch. It's actually not going to get far enough, but... Oh! Man, airborne. It's right on board with Derek Myers, and we're right on board with Brian Elmore as well. First contact there, second contact there. He kind of gets it straight, and then... Oh! Heard that car leave the ground. Let's go back to Brian Elmore here in the 39. And look at the bottom opens. And at the last second. Oh my goodness. One of the hardest hits we've seen in this series. And now, kind of an interesting mix here at the front. As lap cars separate our leaders. Christian Schrader actually gets the rough end of that one. He's going to be 7th. Tyler Bentley will be 2nd after getting involved in that incident. He'll drive up alongside the leader. And have a chance to win at Darlington and end his drought in this series. He has a chance to end it right now. at the Lady in Black. The track too tough to tame. Tyler Bentley has tamed it before. What in the world is this restart order? This is going to be interesting, folks. Chad Meadows has a lap down. A lot of guys caught a lap down here after the pit cycle, and now I'm not even sure what we're going to try to do. We're going to restart this race single file? No way. Well, we're going to try it. They are going to let Bentley restart alongside Freenage, but this is a wild restart order. 22 to go, and Andrew Freenage, welcome back to the Late Race Restart Club. 22 to go from Darlington, and Freenage has to go win it late again. Green flag in the air, and away we go towards turn 1. It's a good start, but now Bentley is behind him, and Bentley has tamed this place before. But he gets away, and gets away big time. Strader already to 6th, but losing ground. He's going to have to make up ground quickly. Wise 5 seconds back. Scoring has really taken a toll on Christian Strader, and now Freenage may very well be home free. Strader is nowhere to be seen on our camera angle here. And with 21 to go, no pit stop remaining. Freenage as the lights come on, and we go under the lights. I mean, the field may be out of answers here. As Freenage just turned on go mode. He's already ahead by a second and a half. 20 to go. Strader now 8 seconds back. And Bentley not really gaining any time. 20 to go. $19 laps to go this time by. As Freenage now just inches away from his 4th straight win. Meanwhile, the pit cycle is unfortunately taking its toll on guys like Adam Pettit, Rusty Modesty, Nathan Nixon, Dustin German, who are having good runs, but it got derailed. And that pit cycle happening when it did, it rewarded Travis Budd, who now runs 3rd, and Stoney Benfield, who now runs 4th. As Freenage continues to lead, Strader fades 10 seconds back as he is fighting through traffic. And I just don't see him having enough time here unless he gets all the way to about 3rd and a caution comes out to even have a chance at this one. So, tough break there. I thought Strader was one of the fastest cars on track, and the timing of that caution could not have been worse for the 29. Freenage drives away. An impressive run is going to get even more impressive. We are approaching Tyler Bentley levels of dominance in terms of how many races in a row that Andrew Freenage has rung off in this series. Now, still 16 to go. How much wear does the tires get? How much does Bentley's car come to him here in the next 5 to 10 laps? That maybe he can start to make some ground, but he's not making any right now. Freenage drives away. Tyler Bentley once won 6 races in a row in this series. Freenage is going to get to 4 here tonight with a victory. 15 to go for him. And he continues to pull away, running some of his best laps of the race. Last time by, he was 2.5 tenths faster than most of the field. The only car faster than the leader was Garrett Streets back in 13th, a lap down. Go mode engaged here. $14 to go. 3.5 second gap, 3.6 even. The sun is fully down, and Andrew Freenage is doing the thing again. 13 to go. This is one of the more impressive runs I've seen, considering some of the competition he's been up against. When he gets in position, and when he's able to run good laps in rhythm, when he's able to find a groove that he likes, I mean, this guy's making himself unstoppable. 12 to go, 4.5 second gap. He can cruise from here. He's not going to. He could if he wanted to. I think the interesting thing to me is now is going to be, can Stoney Benfield run down Travis Butt and get on the podium in this race? Tim Henderson running 5th. How about the turnaround for him? Derek Myers is all the way back up in 8th. After his incident, literally 15 minutes ago, he was getting T-boned on the back straightaway, and now, while he is a lap down, 8th position. We'll take a look back at Henderson. Well, he might not be 5th for long. Christian Strader is running him down, but still a good run for Henderson. Whoa! Pulls down as Strader went to look down. He's going to give Strader the better top lane here to drive around or maybe defend here. Yeah, it looks like he was using his defense, and these two are going to get a little bit close off turn 4, but no harm, no foul. 10 laps to go for Andrew Freenage. Strader cannot get around the 52. Will he do it now here off 1 and 2 with this wide exit? Not quite. Henderson going to run alongside him. And Strader will make the pass. He'll move on by for 5th. Freenage ahead by 5 seconds. Single digits, 9 laps to go. It'll be 8 to go when he comes back around. Now, the notable thing for Tyler Bentley, while he will not break his win drought, he'll break the podium drought. Hadn't been on the podium in a while, so certainly going to be happy to get to talk to Tyler again here in a moment, as he's going to have his best finish since Season 2, I believe, maybe even Season 1. But all the spotlight's going to be on Andrew Freenage for his 4th straight win. If he can make it the next 8 laps, and assuming a caution flag does not come out and derail his plans. Seven to go. Freenage, Bentley, Butt, Benfield, Strader, Carlson, your lead lap cars. Strader's going to get as high as 4th. He might get to 3rd. Oh, man. Right as I'm looking at timing, Alex Green, a big moment with the leader. That was almost deadly for Andrew Freenage. But luckily for him, both those guys stay off each other. And, whew, big moment there. 6 laps to go. And Strader, he's going to get, well, he's going to get to 4th. In fact, he's about to get to 4th right now, but I don't know if he has time to get all the way to 3rd. Or the tires to get to 3rd. As Freenage comes back by the line, 5 laps to go. This one's almost underway, or almost done, at the Darlington Raceway, and Tyler Bentley has tamed this place before. Christian Schrader has tamed this place before. And Andrew Freenage well on his way to becoming the next to do just that. Schrader's not going to get to third. He might not even get fourth here on Benfield. Butt's not going to get to Bentley, and Bentley's not going to get to Freenage. Not a lot of change coming here in the positions on the lead lap. This dominant run, while Schrader finishes in the fourth position. I know he scored seventh, but he's not actually seventh. While he finishes fourth, may not enough to be the points lead. He might get to second. But he certainly has made this a very interesting points battle for the time being. And if he continues to win, like at this pace that he's at, it's going to be tough for Schrader and others to answer the call unless they start getting to victory lane. Next time by, 2 to go. If he sees one more circuit after this one, if he gets back to the white flag, this race will be official. 2 laps to go in the Throwback Series from Darlington. And Andrew Freenage going to celebrate win number 4 and a 100% win rate. And how long does this stat last for Freenage now? The question is, when will somebody trip him up? When will somebody get the better of him? Will it be a road course, a super speedway? Will he make a mistake? White flag is up. 1 lap to go. The time to make a mistake would be at this racetrack at Darlington Raceway. A very difficult, very technical racetrack. And tonight, for the most part, he was flawless again. And he's going to put up another victory. 4 races, a ton of laps led, and 4 wins. The Aaron's Dream Machine, Andrew Freenage, comes off turn 4. He'll win again, this time in Darlington. Tyler Bentley, Travis Butt come home second and third. Freenage, the class of the field, one more time. He'll come off turn 4. He'll celebrate, I imagine, the same way. We've become accustomed to him doing so. He'll do half of a Polish victory lap and then begin his celebration by the start-finish line. And he will stop here on the cool-down lap. He'll pull to the inside of turn 1, as we have customarily seen him do. He'll come back towards the flag stand. We'll get to see him do some burnouts as he celebrates win number 4. He'll celebrate here when he gets back to the flag stand. We'll get a nice close-up view of the burnout. And Victory Donuts, Freenage. A little bit of emphasis on that one. Freenage tames the Lady in Black. He'll come turn it down pit road as he typically does and look to the turn into victory lane, which you can't quite get to here at Darlington. And we'll go through finishing results while he does so. Andrew Freenage, 4 times he's raced in the series, 4 times he's gone to victory lane. He wins again tonight in Darlington. Tyler Bentley, welcome back to the podium. He finishes in 2nd position, and then Travis Butt rounds out that podium in 3rd place. It's Christian Schrader that battles back to finish 4th after I thought he had the best shot at Freenage. Some late race timing kind of not benefiting the 29. He'll battle back to finish 4th. Stoney Benfield, great run for the faster pastor. He finishes 5th. Hunter Carlson back in 6th. Tim Henderson 7th. Derek Myers, great run in his, what I believe to be his debut. He finishes 8th. Lee Robinson 9th. And Chris Spencer in his debut finishes in 10th. Nathan Nixon runs 11th, Rusty Modesty 12th, Garrett Streets 13th, Jerry West 14th, and Adam Pettit 15th. Cody Eldred 16th, Ryan Peters 17th, Josh Jarrett Hill in 18th. Casey Pfeiffer 19th, Chad Meadows 20th, Dustin German 21st, Ron Walters 22nd, Brian Elmore in 23rd, Stephen Luttrell 24th, and Alex Green back in 25th. Brad Young finishes 26th, Greg Burbanier in 27th, Brian Elmore 28th, Sean Kozier 29th, Richard Mulligani in 30th, TJ Smainauer 31st, Cody Morgan 32nd, Shane Posey 33rd, Doug Johnson in 34th, and Gerald Berlin rounds out the top 35, the 35-car field, should I say, tonight in Darlington. We'll be right back. We're going to go grab your top three for some post-race interviews. Stay with us here on PGR eSports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Darlington Raceway. As we get into the post-race show, we'll talk to your top three from tonight's race. We'll start with the man who finished third, the DuPont Chevrolet of Travis Budd, who gets a great run. Was up and down all night, but finishes tonight in a really good spot in third place. This is a much-needed run, plus 18 on the night. We'll see what he's got to say about it. The 24, Travis Budd. Hey, Travis, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy.
Well, a good run for you. An up and down night, but kind of that late race caution. We kind of saw, you and Stoney Benfield really benefit from that late race caution. Take me through your night, a roller coaster, but ending up in third. Gotta imagine you feel pretty good about this one.
Yeah, I'm not mad at all. The way it transpired, there was kind of some back-to-back cautions. The first one was my fault. Second one, I can't do anything about the second one, but we'll take it. Ryan Peters and I were teammates to the 18 car. We worked really hard, and it was just slippery. And yeah, like I said, that caution came out. He kind of pitted, and I said, I'm just gonna stay out. And if I ran out of field, and I'll just pit. And about the next two laps, I was gonna come in, and I don't know what the caution was for, but it was definitely that benefited us, and I don't have any complaints.
Well, certainly not. Now, kind of turning the page, looking forward. Obviously, there's got to be a momentum booster as well. Getting on the podium against this field, especially a lot of competition in this field. So, again, worked hard. It paid off. You got to third. Kind of looking forward now. Some wild card tracks here coming up. Some interesting venues we're going to. Kind of what's the game plan here to maintain this momentum going forward?
Yeah, I gotta do some practicing. I'm used to running the Xfinity car and truck and things like that, and this Gen 4's kind of really threw me through a loop. It's a lot more skew and things like that, and I'm just not used to it. I got to do some more practicing and get a little better on that end. Some tracks coming up are some of the better ones that I usually run at, so definitely got to get a little better. I got to definitely get back on the sim and work on some stuff. Usually when I'm in the Xfinity or truck or anything like that, I can pick up on any track pretty quickly. I'm just not used to this car as much as I should. So yeah, definitely some stiff competition. It's good. I've had some good runs, truthfully. I just haven't got the finishes to pay off for. I think last week I finished 7th. Other than that, like I said, I just get taken out at the end of the race, or something happens, or bad pit strategy. So it's finally good to see some stuff end up good on my way. So it's definitely some momentum building.
Well, as the momentum goes going forward, now a third place finish, certainly a good way to start that and get that moving in the right direction. Before we let you go and celebrate the third place finish and enjoy it, is there anybody that you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, like I said, thanks to my teammate Ryan. Like I said, he helps a lot. He kind of keeps you calm at times. Thanks to you guys out there at the broadcast booth. You guys do fantastic. I get all kinds of compliments on how well you guys do. You guys are super professional and everything. So, and then, like I said, I'd like to thank the 4-car. He's a pretty smart dude. That Cody Eldred, he's a pretty smart dude, and I appreciate him. Kind of keeps everyone in line, and he makes sure he has a comment for everything that happens. So, we're going to continue here, and we'll see what happens next week.
Well, certainly looking forward to it. Thanks for taking a second to talk to me. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, boss.
Travis Butt.
He's a pretty smart dude, and I appreciate him. Kind of keeps everyone in line, and he makes sure he has a comment for everything that happens. So, we're going to continue here, and we'll see what happens next week.
Well, certainly looking forward to it. I'm not sure what's going on there. My broadcast audio coming through the the broadcast. That was odd, but regardless, we're going to move on now to your second place finisher. That was Travis Butt, your third place finisher. As I, just continue on this train of technical issues tonight. Bearing with me. Thank you so much if you continue to bearing with me here on a Thursday night. We'll get to the second place finisher and a guy that I'll be honest, in a moment of truthfulness, a moment of candor, if you will. I've been looking forward to talking to Tyler again. It's been a while since he's been on the podium, since he's gotten a good finish. Thought it was going to be last week in Kansas. Thought it was going to be maybe in Rockingham. Neither of those work out, but now finally he's back on the podium, back where he belongs here in the OP Racing Throwback Series. Going to talk to him a little bit about his night here at the Lady in Black. Hey, Tyler, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Well, look, it's been a while. I'll be honest, since you've been up here. I thought it was going to be the last couple weeks, but finally tonight in Darlington it works out. You come home second. First off, obviously, coming back now full time, racing every Thursday night again after kind of taking a part-time season last season. Coming back, getting your feet back wet again. A good night in Darlington, but certainly I feel like it's been an adjustment going back to full-time racing for you in this series.
Yeah, it has. I really haven't driven this car a whole lot from, when I was here season 1, because I didn't really drive actually really any in season 2 or 3, and Alex asked if I could come back and participate. I was looking to get back into doing some league racing because I don't do a whole lot of league racing really anymore. I do a lot more broadcasting than I do league racing, and so getting back in here and racing with these guys, and it just shows just how the competition level, I think, is raised from season 1 to where the OP series is now at in season 4. It's really a great competitive group of guys and a lot of fun to be a part of. I just had some kind of crap luck weeks the first few weeks, and really had some good runs going and just couldn't finish them off. But tonight, coming away with a podium. I know me and the 69 got together out of turn 2 there with about 25 or so laps to go, and I know he was upset with me, and I don't really know how that's really going to shake out, because I just felt more like it was a racing ordeal, and it got tight out of turn 2, and there was nothing intentional in that. So, admins will have to review all of that and see how that goes. But overall, it was a good, fun night, and happy to come away with a solid finish for the number 55 machine.
Well, now, looking forward, and I kind of talked to Christian about this last week when I asked him about Andrew Freenage. So now I'm going to ask you kind of the same question. You guys got a chance to be up close and personal with him again tonight. What's the strategy? What's the game plan? What did you pick up? Kind of what did you learn from him tonight as you guys try to close this gap? He's certainly been dominant the last 4 weeks, but again tonight, he looked a little bit mortal. So what's the game plan going forward to try to get one spot better and get yourself back in victory lane?
Really, I mean, it's, the 84, man, he is just really super consistent and really good. I mean, his I rating shows that much. If you're up in the 7,000 range, you're definitely a great driver, and his skill set shows each and every week in this series. I mean, he qualifies well, and like I said, very consistent. And it's just, I try to be the best I can every week. I was following behind him, trying to figure out maybe switch my lineup a little bit to match what he's doing out on the racetrack and stuff like that. He's just, I don't know. I'd have to find something special, I believe, because he's definitely the driver to beat week in and week out. I think Strader's had a little more speed than I have, for sure. I mean, he had a really good car, a good long-run car. I mean, he held on to Andrew, it seemed like, for most of the run. I fell off quite a bit as the run went on, and But just keep trying to buckle down and face forward and be as consistent as I can, and maybe try to challenge him. I don't know. That fella's awful good.
Well, it's still a good run for you tonight. Back on the podium here in this series with a second place finish. So before I let you go and kind of enjoy and then start to look forward, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Just my teammates over at DFCTR, Rich Malagani, Shane Posey, Tim Henderson. Tim Henderson with the throwback paint tonight. I think he did a good job putting that together for me. It looked awesome, I think, on the racetrack for throwback night. And, of course, my broadcast channel, Buckeye Racing Network.
Well, Tyler, thanks for taking a second to talk to me. Congratulations on a second place run. Go enjoy it and go celebrate, and we will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dawson.
We'll make sure this time that my audio is coming through correctly. It looks like it is. So with that being said, we're going to move to the man once again. And, man, you can get used to me saying this 4 times in a row. Does not come around very often, and Andrew Freenage has certainly had a special start to his time in this series, his tenure as an OP Racing Throwback Series driver, and now ticks on win number 4 under his belt in his first 4 races. Let's see what he's got to say about it. The winner of the race, Andrew Freenage in the 84. Hey, Andrew, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I said last week we were getting used to it, but, you took it literally. You go out and win again. Another dominant effort for you. Now, I will say, in this one, especially on a long run, it kind of felt like maybe Christian Strader had something for you. We saw some lap traffic come into play in the mid stages of this race, but nonetheless, when it mattered most, when you had to buckle down, pull the straps tight, and go get it done, you drive away by 5.5 seconds on the last run and get a victory. Take me through an eventful night, another dominant night for you here at the Lady in Black.
Yeah, I kind of felt behind, truthfully, on that race, as odd as that sounds. I think I was saving tires too much, and the 29, I think, on that first run had me beat. He was fast. He was able to get right to my bumper. Second round, I felt like, we saved tires a little better, kind of went a little harder. I don't remember when, but there was a caution, and he drove right up to my bumper and almost passed me, and I said, okay, I guess we're not saving tires no more, so... the later in the race, you really didn't have to save as much as you did, in practice and earlier in the race. And I was not prepared for that at all. So, yeah, I think the 29 truthfully had as good of a car, if not better. So, it's a shame the caution came out when it did, because I think we were going to have a really epic battle till the end there.
Well, certainly looked like it was going to be a fun one if that pit stop had gone through that pit cycle. Look, 4 for 4. This does not happen very often. It's obviously an achievement here. Tyler Bentley won 6 races in a row in season 1. You're now at 4. So again, we're going to look forward. You're now inside the top 3 in points. You're now staring down the points leader, Christian Strader. Kind of, what's the game plan as he continues to improve and try to catch up? What's your game plan? What's your strategy to kind of offset him, to gain a little bit more speed, to put a little bit more of that gap between you and the rest of the field going forward?
Yeah, just got to test a little more, practice a little more, especially with the changing conditions. Last week, I wasn't ready for the bottom, and this week, I really wasn't ready for the when we got tonight for it to be cooler. So, got to just prepare a little better for that stuff. And like I said, these guys are all talented. I mean, I just had a good night with this track, and very, very hard to drive. So, these guys, I know they're going to beat me, and I'm going to learn a little bit. So, they're right on my tail, and I know, given the right spot, they could beat me any week.
Well, not tonight. You win again here in Darlington. 4 for 4 for you so far in your career. So before we let you go and celebrate while we have you for a minute here, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Alex. It's his birthday tonight, so I hope we did a good job for him, putting on a good race. That was a lot of fun. You for broadcasting, love watching him back. I say it every week. All the fans were watching, all the drivers. We didn't go green all the way, but we had good green flag runs. We had green flag stops, and I appreciate that from all the drivers. Even when we were passing lap cars, it was respectful racing, and you got to do a lot of give and take here. So everybody in this league, it was a blast. I hope I'm not stinking up the show too bad, and I thank you guys for letting me race here.
Well, certainly a dominant run that you're on right now, 4 for 4, and another one here tonight at the Lady in Black at Darlington Raceway. Andrew, thanks for talking to me. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will talk to you soon.
Thanks so much. Happy holidays to everybody, too. I know Hanukkah there and Christmas, so everybody enjoy.
Well, certainly the holiday season upon us, and what a way to ring it in for Andrew Freenage. I mean, he gives himself a Christmas gift tonight and wins at the Darlington Raceway. That's going to just about do it for my coverage here. Again, programming reminders for you right now over on the main PGR eSports page. You'll find the broadcast for the PGR eSports Intimidator Super Speedway Series. Matt Metler, Austin Green on the call. Next Gen Race Cars at Daytona, a preview of February's PGR 500 coming up for you. It's actually on now over there on PGR eSports here on our main page. Some programming this weekend, potentially some racing. We'll have to see what PGR covers over the course of the weekend. But if nothing else, PGR eSports will return next Monday for the PGR Light Series, I think is racing. Do not quote me on that. I'll actually double check because it is the week of Christmas. It's 2 days before Christmas, but let me double check so I don't give you the wrong information. We may not be racing at all next week. Actually, no, we are listed to race in the PGR Light Series on Monday night at Talladega here on PGR eSports, and Landon Velicki will have you for the call on that one. Landon Velicki, Matthew Baker will have you all the way for the action on that one. I don't believe that PGR's Intimidator Super Speedway Series will race next week. We'll see. The day after Christmas, obviously, is a little bit hard to do that on with everybody celebrating the holidays, myself included, Alex included as well. So I don't believe, talking about Super Speedway Series, I got mixed up, but it'll segue nicely here in a moment. But all of us celebrating the holidays, it's kind of tough to put a race on. And then as well, the programming note, the most important one here for the Throwback Series, we are off next week. No race next week for the OP Racing Throwback Series. As we take the week off for the holidays, we'll be back in 2025. That's right, January 2nd, 2025 is the next race for the Throwback Series, and that race will take place from Chicagoland Speedway in the virtual Joliet, Illinois, for 134 laps. Again, January 2nd, the day after New Year's, we will come back to the Throwback Series. No race next Thursday night on the 26th. Everybody enjoy the holiday season. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone watching the broadcast. Certainly hope you enjoy the holiday weekend coming up. Enjoy some football, enjoy some food, enjoy some family and friends. Most importantly, enjoy the season here over the next week or so. And until then, you've been watching PGR eSports. My name is Dawson Wise. Andrew Freenage